Some of your favorite stores that you shopped at back in the day you may never see again. In the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, shopping malls reigned supreme.
I think it's a great place to eat here.
There's a nice selection of stores and a great atmosphere.
Real nice place to shop.
They were the destination to buy stuff, eat at the food court, play at the arcade, hang out with friends, or get embarrassed by your family. Most malls followed the same formula. Multiple floors with major department stores anchored at the ends. And in between, smaller stores that were usually dedicated to one specific thing that you needed. Clothes, shoes, toys, tech, book, music, movies, video games, stationery, pets, health, beauty, bath and body works, even lingerie. But while there are still malls out there, they're not as popular as they used to be, and even the malls that are left don't have many of the stores that we nostalgic mall rats remember. So this video is a nice dedication to some of those retro mall stores that no longer exist. KB Toys.
KB Toy Store. We got the toys at the price you're looking for.
Everyone talks about missing Toys R Us, but where's the love for KB Toys? That store was awesome. Toys R Us usually had their own store somewhere else, so KB was the toy store to go to if you were in the mall. They had almost everything Toys R Us had: action figures, dolls, board games, video games, Furbies. They were just a slightly smaller store than Toys R Us. Slightly smaller, very smaller. Toys R Us usually had a whole parking lot and everything. KB Toys was in a mall. KB also had attention-catching toys up front on display to entice you to come check out their store. They would be kitschy things like a continuous moving train or mini roller coaster or a flipping puppy or a bumbleball or a raccoon tail inside of a fake bag of chips moving around. We were easily entertained back then. I actually used to work at a KB toy store. I was hired during the Christmas rush, and then they kept me around a little bit longer after, until I left that job for a video store that then also closed because of Blockbuster. I am destroyer of stores. I worked at KB toy stores right around the time when Power Ranger toys were really popular, and it was funny to watch parents and grandparents fight each other to grab some Power Ranger toys for their kids and grandkids. I actually saw grandma stop wall walking, go underneath the gate as it opened, use her cane to knock a Power Ranger toy off the top shelf, caught it as it fell, and then walked over to the cashier to buy it. That grandkid had a good Christmas. Go Power Rangers.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, too hot to handle.
Our KB Toys even had TVs on display so we could watch movies in there. I was even able to take home video games sometimes so I could record the video games and show the gameplay footage on TV. See, I was game playing, let's playing before YouTube was even a thing. I just forgot the commentary. But just like Toys R Us, ignoring the internet and competition from big box stores, KB Toys was eventually no longer played with. But Toys R Us keeps making all these comebacks. Why can't the same happen for KB Toys? KB Toys was there for you as a kid. You got to go in that store while your parents went off to buy some clothes or some housing goods. KB Toys was there for you. Let's be there for it again. If we can bring back Toys R Us, we can bring back KB Toys. Did you ever buy anything from KB Toys, or were you a Toys R Us kid all the way?
Camelot Music. No one knows music better.
Music stores and shopping malls. That was a place to go to get the latest albums without mailing to Columbia House. 12 CDs for a penny. I knew that was a scam. You had stores like Musicland, Sam Goody, Camelot Music, Tape World, Record Town, The Wall, Tower Music, all possible options for your mall music needs. You can find pretty much any CD you want at these stores, or cassette tapes if you're old like me. What's cool about some of these stores is that they used to sell CD singles. They'd be about $4 and they would have one song on them, but they would have a bunch of remixes of that song. You would get the album version, the radio edit, the 9-minute extended club techno remix, the deep house slow groove R&B mix, and the hip hop remix that would feature at least 4 rapper cameos. But these mall music stores face competition from the Best Buys, Walmarts, Targets, and Amazons of the world. It didn't help that a lot of these mall music stores were eventually owned by the same companies and were overcharging CDs to the point where a lawsuit was filed. I could make a whole video just about that story. And once we got that Napster and iTunes thing and started buying songs digitally, that was pretty much the end for the mall music stores. Almost all of these stores closed, and the few that remained got turned into what you might know now as FYE. But we missed the music, man. We missed the music. Oh, and there's also Suncoast, which is basically the same story, but with DVDs and VHS tapes.
These and hundreds of other titles are on sale now at Suncoast.
What albums did you get from a mall music store, if any? Montgomery Ward. Does anyone remember Montgomery Ward department stores? Before Target, before Walmart, but around the same time as Kmart, Montgomery Ward was the place to go to shop for clothes or other items at discount prices. While there were some standalone stores, many Montgomery Ward stores like mine were the anchor stores at a mall. And I'm not saying that Montgomery Ward catered to a certain clientele, but at my Montgomery Ward, I was able to buy Looney Tunes hip hop shirts, Malcolm X t-shirts, Charlotte Hornet starter jackets, and FUBU. So I think they knew what neighborhood they were in.
Hey, if I can get the brands I want at the prices I want, then they got my business.
And Montgomery Ward had everything: clothes, shoes, appliances, TVs, toys, video games, video cameras, even haircuts and photo booths. For some reason, I remember seeing some of the lesser known video game consoles at Montgomery Ward, like the 3DO or the CDI.
You know what they say, all toasters toast toast.
You know that Hotel Mario and those weird Legend of Zelda CDI games? I saw those at Montgomery Ward.
Lucky shot. Golly.
So I guess they saved me some money by showing those off. Montgomery Ward is even featured in one of the final scenes of one of my favorite 80s movies of all time. Yeah, that's not a fake store. That place is real. There's still apparently a Montgomery Ward website where you can order things online, but the actual stores themselves, they were closed around 2001. And if you had a mall like mine where Montgomery Ward was one of your final anchor stores, that pretty much meant the death of your mall. Thanks for the memories, Montgomery Ward. May you rest well in department store heaven. Say hi to Woolworth and Mervyn's and Hess's for me. Where are the anchor department stores you had in your mall?
So many quarters sliding into video game slots that video games made more money than any other single form of entertainment.
Arcades in the mall were perfect if you wanted to stop spending dollars and start spending quarters, or usually tokens. The mall arcades was where I was introduced to that beautiful brown token making machine. You put $1 in, 4 golden tokens come out, or if you wanted to be a baller, you put $5 or $10 in, get one of those little cups, put all your tokens inside, and just walk around feeling like the man jingling those coins around. I got all the tokens. Turtles in Time, I'm coming for you today. I got all the tokens in my cup. There were a number of mall arcades out there like Aladdin's Castle, Time Out, Spaceport, but the one I remember most is Tilt Arcade. They have your arcade games, your fighting games, your pinball machines, your skee ball or other games where you win tickets that you can use to get prizes. I have the mall arcades to thank for introducing me to classic games like Rampage, Street Fighter 2, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, The Simpsons arcade game, Mortal Kombat, and Primal Rage. Does anyone remember Primal Rage? It's like Mortal Kombat, but with like prehistoric animals. It was fun. But once all those fancy home video game consoles got fancier, it was game over for the mall arcades. A lot of mall arcades closed. Some of the Tilt arcades got turned into Tilt Studios, which is a little bit different. They're more like Dave & Buster's or Round One. So similar name, but not really the same. I miss those arcades, but hey, at least they're still at Putt-Putt Golf. Is that still a thing? I don't know. Do you have any arcade memories? What games did you play at the arcade?
Toy stores don't take games seriously. You gotta talk to gamers.
Babbage's and EB Games. If you wanted to buy video games in the 80s or 90s to take home, look no further than Babbage's or Electronics Boutique / EB Games, or even software, etc. Obviously, Toys R Us and various department stores sold video games, but stores like Babbage's and EB Games, I felt like they helped form the identity of the gamer because those were dedicated game stores. You had the video games, the consoles, the controllers, the magazines, the strategy guides, the gaming-based merch and accessories. It was gaming all over the place in one place. Plus, stores like EB Games and Babbage's helped capitalize on the idea of the pre-order. Not only would you buy a game early and make sure that you would have it the day it came out, but they might even throw in a little extra gift for you, like some buttons or stickers or a pen or socks or just some random gaming trinket related to the game you just bought because you guaranteed to buy it from their store and not any other store. Take that, Kmart. Some of these stores would eventually have used games so you can buy the games you want at a discount price. Or if you're done with your game, you can trade it in to get a couple of dollars, or even more tempting, store credit, just a few more dollars, but you have to use those dollars to buy a game there. So you're using your game to buy another game. That's how they keep you in a cycle. That's how they get you. But hey, you get a copy of Game Informer, huh? But just like the music stores, the video game stores started to merge. Babbage's and Software Etc. merged companies, and then Barnes & Noble bought that company, as well as FuncoLand, and through all of that became GameStop. Power to the players. The remaining video game stores were all rebranded as GameStop, and the rest is history, I guess. So if you're a gamer from one of the more recent Xbox or PlayStation generations, then GameStop is probably your mall video game store. But for my Nintendo, Sega, PS1, and PS2 folks out there, will always remember Babbage's and EB Games and Software Etc. Even Electric Avenue, the video game section of Montgomery Ward.
Electric Avenue does whatever it takes to win. Best Buy, you're out of your league.
Where did you buy your video games from back in the day?
When America looks for the right Christmas gift, America finds it at Waldenbooks.
Waldenbooks. Barnes & Noble might be the bookstore of today, but back in the day, I grew up on Waldenbooks. Waldenbooks was the bookstore that you would usually go to in the mall, unless you went to B. Dalton instead. Waldenbooks was the Kmart of bookstores. Literally, Kmart bought them in 1984. Waldenbooks had books on almost any subject, and they were neatly placed in separate categories throughout the store. I used to draw a lot when I was little, so I would always go to their art section because they would always have books on how to draw cartoons and comics. I also loved Waldenbooks magazine section. They would always have magazines about movies or video games. If you were lucky, the occasional Essence, Ebony, or Jet swimsuit magazines sometimes, just on occasion, so I heard. Waldenbooks is where I found those Nintendo Choose Your Own Adventure books. I even bought a couple from them. I also bought from Waldenbooks sometimes book adaptations of movies, like they would be the novelization of the movie. But it was really cool because sometimes movies would have deleted scenes. Some of those deleted scenes would be in the novelization of the movie in the book. Was Waldenbooks also where you could buy Cliff Notes? Remember when they would have like those summarizations of books? So if you had to do a book report, you would just get that and read that instead. Waldenbooks tried to expand their line with Waldenbooks and more so they could sell computer software or educational toys. Don't worry about that, Waldenbooks. We got Babbage's and KB Toys. Just stick to the books. But just like video game stores and music stores, bookstores started merging. B-Doll and bookstores were bought by Barnes & Noble. Kmart, who already bought Waldenbooks, bought another bookstore, Borders. Then in the 2000s, Waldenbooks were turned into Borders Express, and then all of those stores closed. With the exception of Barnes & Noble, they survived the book apocalypse. Oh, and there's also the library, I think. I think that's still around. Is that still a thing? The library? Dewey Decimal System?
Check it out, check it out, check it out. It's all for free. Check it out at the library. Check it out.
Did you ever buy a book from Waldenbooks?
You know the drill. Now get the thrill. If it doesn't say Sharper Image, you didn't get the real deal.
The Sharper Image. While the defunct mall store Radio Shack was a place to go for computers, cell phones, and other tech, the Sharper Image was the go-to mall store for just random gadgets. At the Sharper Image, you could buy massage chairs, handheld back massagers, foot rests that were also foot massagers. I'm sure they sold other things in the store, but I could never get past the front of the store because they had all those massagers. It felt so good.
Whoa, hello. My God. You feel something.
But yeah, while your Radio Shacks, Comp USAs, and Circuit Cities had the stuffy tech products, the Sharper Image had the fun gadgets. We're talking drones, remote control helicopters, tech-filled watches and stopwatches, digital alarm clocks, headphones, night binoculars, electronic putting mats. If you needed any electronic device to help you with golfing, fishing, or barbecue grilling, the Sharper Image was the place to go.
Whoa!
Wow.
They also sometimes sold travel stuff like neck pillows or noise-canceling earplugs. Basically any tech store that you see in an airport or whatever's left of Brookstone, that was basically the Sharper Image. The Sharper Image also had their own brand of air purifiers. That is until a Consumer Reports test said that they failed to work compared to other air purifiers. Plus, they allegedly let out a small amount of ozone. See, they never had this problem with the massagers. As mall traffic decreased, so did sales from specialty stores like this. So eventually the Sharper Image filed for bankruptcy. And even though you can supposedly shop at a Sharper Image website online, all their mall stores are closed. And every time I go someplace and I see a massage chair that you have to pay for to use, I scoff at that. Sharper Image used to massage our bodies for free, and we liked it. You can rub on me anytime, Sharper Image. I'm never leaving this chair. It feels so good. And those are some of the stores now missing from malls. Are there any mall stores that I missed that you miss? Like Wet Seal or Zany Brainy or Gadzooks? These were real stores. Tell me your mall memories. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please subscribe. Now I'm off to the mall because Tiffany and Debbie Gibson are performing, and I also can audition for America's Funniest People.